Imagine a library, but not just with books. Imagine it holds the actual blueprints of reality itself. A place where the birth of stars, the math behind a snowflake, even the deepest secrets of our own minds, they're all cataloged.
That's a great way to put it. And this isn't fiction. It's really the heart of the Hindu.
Exactly, this incredible treasure trove.
It literally means that which is put together. It's this vast collection of sacred knowledge passed down meticulously for thousands of years.
But they're not just dusty old texts, are they?
Not at all. They're presented as living wisdom. They really bridge what we might see as ancient myth with, well, what we're now understanding through science. It connects these old insights with some really startling modern discoveries.
And that's what's so compelling, I think, the sheer scope. We're talking cosmic origins, the laws governing everything from atoms to galaxies, and, the deep workings of the human spirit.
Right. And the deities mentioned, they're often described less as distant figures and more as dynamic cosmic principles, things we can actually observe in the universe and even feel within ourselves.
So that whole idea of mythology.
Yeah.
It's not really separate from science in this view.
But you could say it is a form of science. It's science told in this incredibly rich language of wonder, of timeless wisdom.
So for you listening, what's this deep dive about?
Well, we see it as an invitation, really, a chance to meet the universe's first storytellers, its earliest scientists, its most profound teachers, all kind of wrapped up in one tradition.
And our goal here is to give you a shortcut, to help you get informed, pull out the key nuggets, and connect some maybe surprising facts to a genuinely deeper understanding.
So as we jump in, maybe hold this thought. Every star you see, every breath you take, every single thought, it's all part of this huge unfolding story.
You're not just learning about the universe. In a very real way, you are the universe discovering itself. So let's dive in. When we talk about the universe's secrets, where else can we possibly start but the beginning?
The absolute origin.
The have this incredible creation story. It doesn't start with a bang, actually, but with this profound stillness. They say, in the beginning, there was neither existence nor non-existence. Just think about that. No space, no time, no light, no dark, just potential.
Pure potentiality. And within that, something stirred, a spark of infinite possibility. The ancient seers, they called this
The golden womb.
the golden womb. Yeah, you can almost picture it like this cosmic seed, this golden egg just pulsing with pure consciousness.
Wow.
And inside it, the whole universe, all possible realities just coiled up, waiting. It's like the primordial singularity, but not just physical. It's the source of consciousness, too.
And from that,
Yeah.
that incredible potential the Samhitas talk about Brahman.
Yes. And it's really crucial, like you said, this isn't a personal God in the way we might usually think.
Right. Not a figure on a throne.
It's more like the ultimate infinite ground of all being. The consciousness that, you could say, dreams the universe into existence. Like the ocean is the source and the substance of every single wave.
That's a great analogy.
So as this golden womb started to unfold, the universe expressed itself through 5 fundamental building blocks. The Pancha Mahabhutas.
The 5 sacred elements.
Exactly. So we have, which is earth. That's
Yep.
the principle of solidity, structure.
Okay.
Then apas, water representing fluidity, cohesion.
Makes sense.
Agni, fire, the principle of transformation, energy.
The dynamic one.
Yeah. Air movement, expansion, space. And finally, akasha.
Akasha. That's the one that feels maybe less tangible.
It is. It's seen as the principle of consciousness itself, the space and connection that holds everything else together. And what's striking, I think, is how these aren't just, physical things. Modern physics talks about fundamental forces, particles.
Right. Quarks and leptons and things.
Exactly. But these elements, they represent the essential qualities that make experience possible. Earth gives form, water lets things flow, fire transforms, air allows movement, and akasha provides the very space and connection for it all. It's about the experience of reality.
That's a really key distinction. Qualities, not just particles.
Yeah. And from that same source, the golden womb, we also get the idea of the Trimurti.
The cosmic trinity.
3 cosmic functions, but working as one unified intelligence. You have Brahma, the creative impulse, like that initial spark of an idea.
The begin.
Then Vishnu, the sustaining principle, sort of like the universe's memory, its tendency towards order, preservation.
Keeping things going.
And Shiva, the transforming principle, sometimes seen as destruction, but really more like dissolution, recycling, like the sculptor chipping away stone to reveal the form. transformation.
So not three separate gods fighting.
No, not at all. They're seen as aspects of one cosmic intelligence, like, the heart, the mind, and the hands of the universe all working together.
Okay, that makes more sense.
And the ancient seers also understood time very differently. They saw the universe breathing, essentially, in these vast cycles, yugas, and
Cosmic seasons.
that's a perfect way to think of it. Cosmic seasons of creation, flourishing, decline, and then renewal. Cycles lasting millions, even billions of years. It's this grand, ongoing rhythm.
So how does this ancient story, this cosmic beginning, how does it connect to you, listening right now?
Well, think about it. The water in your body, it connects you back to ancient oceans.
The iron in your blood.
Forged in dying stars, literally. The air you're breathing right now has cycled through countless beings over millennia.
You are actually made of stardust.
You absolutely are. You carry that creative power of the Hiranyagarbha, the golden womb, right inside you.
It's a pretty profound connection when you stop and think about it, isn't it?
It really is.
So, okay, the cosmos awakens.
Yeah.
Then what? Something else happens, right? These remarkable humans appear.
Yes. The rishis. They began to perceive the universe's deepest levels. This kind of secret song.
The first scientists, poets, spiritual explorers, all rolled into one.
That's a good description. The word rishi itself comes from a root meaning to see or to know. They were the seers.
And how do they see? Through this practice. Exactly. It literally means to burn or to purify. It was this intense practice, deep meditation-focused inquiry.
Burning away the non-essential.
Precisely. To refine their consciousness, to tune themselves like a radio, to perceive these incredibly subtle vibrations and frequencies that they realized create and sustain everything.
And their big discovery was?
That the entire universe is essentially made of sound, sacred vibrations constantly singing reality into being.
Oh, everything is vibration.
At its core, yes. And at the very heart of all these cosmic sounds, they perceived Om.
That primordial sound.
The primordial vibration. They understood it as the source from which all other sounds, all forms actually emerge. Chanting Om wasn't just making a noise. It was tuning your whole being to the fundamental frequency of creation. Okay, that sounds mystical. But how does it connect to, say, modern science? Does it?
Well, it's actually quite striking. Modern quantum physics tells us that at the deepest level, everything is vibration and frequency.
Right. String theory, quantum fields.
Exactly. Even solid matter is just energy vibrating at specific frequencies.
Yeah.
So this ancient idea of Om as the fundamental vibration, it aligns remarkably well with what physics is finding now. It suggests a profound intuitive grasp thousands of years ago.
That's incredible. They didn't have particle accelerators, but they perceived this fundamental truth.
Through refined consciousness, yes.
And among all these sacred sounds, there's one that really stands out, isn't there? The Gayatri mantra.
Ah, yes. The Gayatri. It's considered much more than just a prayer. It's described almost like a cosmic formula. Designed to connect the person chanting it directly to the source of all knowledge, all wisdom, the light of consciousness itself. The rishis found that certain combinations of sounds, certain mantras, could literally upgrade human consciousness, expand awareness.
And this flowing wisdom, this creative expression, that's connected to the goddess Saraswati.
Beautifully personified by Saraswati, yes. Her name means the flowing one, which
Oh.
signifies that wisdom isn't meant to be hoarded. It should flow freely, be shared generously, like a river nourishing everything along its path.
I like that. Wisdom is flow.
And the rishis understood something that, again, science is only now really catching up with. Sound profoundly affects both matter and consciousness.
Oh, so?
They observed that certain frequencies could promote healing in the body, specific vibrations could calm the mind, sacred sounds could expand awareness, even rhythmic chanting, they noticed, could synchronize brainwaves.
Which we now see in studies on meditation and chanting, right?
Absolutely. So when a rishi entered deep meditation and seemingly received cosmic knowledge, it wasn't seen as supernatural magic. It was the natural result of fine-tuning their consciousness to perceive reality more deeply.
It makes you think about the sounds around us all the time.
Consider this story. 7 great rishis were meditating together around a sacred fire. As they chanted Om, merging their voices, the vibration became incredibly powerful.
Okay.
And they began to perceive the intricate mathematical patterns underlying creation itself, what we might call sacred geometry today.
They saw the patterns.
They perceived them directly, and each rishi grasped a different aspect. One saw celestial mechanics, another the healing properties of plants, a third the laws governing human behavior. Together, their insights laid foundations for astronomy, medicine, psychology, ethics, all from tuning into that fundamental frequency.
That's an amazing story. It illustrates the principles so clearly.
It does. And think about your own experience. Haven't you noticed how certain music can instantly change your mood?
Oh, definitely. Upbeat music lifts me up, calming music settles me down.
Or the sounds of nature birdsong, waves bringing a sense of peace. The rishis understood this deeply. We are, in a sense, sound beings living in a sound universe. Becoming more aware of the sounds we encounter, even the sounds we make with our own voices and thoughts, can actually transform our experience of life.
It really makes you pay attention differently, doesn't it?
It invites that, yes.
Okay, so the universe isn't random chaos. It seems to operate according to, well, laws.
Yeah.
Elegant laws.
Absolutely. Order, beauty, meaning, they arise from these inherent laws. And the rishis perceived two really fundamental ones governing everything: dharma and karma.
Dharma and karma. We hear these words a lot. Let's unpack them. Dharma first.
Okay. Dharma comes from the root, dhr, which means to uphold or to support.
To uphold.
Yeah. It's the intrinsic cosmic law that keeps everything in its proper relationship. The sun rising, rivers flowing, seasons changing, that's all part of dharma, the physical order.
But it's more than just physics, right?
Much more. It extends to the moral and ethical order, too. The principles that create harmony in society, peace in our hearts. When we align with Dharma, we're essentially flowing with the universe's natural current.
Flowing with the current.
Think of it like the banks of a river. The river is your life. It flows best, most powerfully, when it follows its natural course within the banks. The banks aren't restricting it. They give it direction and strength. That's Dharma.
Okay, I get that analogy. And are there specific principles of Dharma?
The rishis identified 4 core ones that apply universally. First, ahimsa.
Nonviolence, non-harm.
Yes, in thought, word, and deed. Then satya, truthfulness, being aligned with reality, promoting well-being through honesty.
Okay.
Asteya, non-stealing, which also means not taking more than you really need, not hoarding.
Simple but profound.
And this is often misunderstood as just celibacy, but it's broader. It's about using your vital energy, your life force, wisely. Channeling it consciously towards purpose, creativity, spiritual growth, not just dissipating it, empowering your highest potential.
Right. Wise use of energy. So that's Dharma. What about karma?
Karma simply means action, but it embodies this incredibly precise law. Every action creates a corresponding reaction.
Cause and effect.
Exactly. Plant an apple seed, you get apples, not oranges. Our thoughts, our words, our deeds, they all generate specific corresponding consequences. It's not about punishment or reward from some outside judge.
It's more like physics.
It's very much like physics. Think of gravity. You drop a ball, it falls. Not because gravity is judging the ball, but because that's the law. Karma's like that. Cultivate kindness, you'll naturally experience positive outcomes. So discord, challenges will arise. It's universal feedback.
That parallel with physics is fascinating. Newton's third law, right?
Right.
So for every action, an equal and opposite reaction.
Precisely. The ancient understanding of karma just extends that principle beyond the purely physical. It includes the mental, emotional, spiritual dimensions, too. It's like the universe's ultimate feedback loop. You can't escape it.
No escaping the cosmic ledger.
Well, not escaping, but understanding it lets you work with it. It's not punitive, remember. It's just feedback. The universe constantly course-correcting, guiding us back towards harmony, towards Dharma.
And there was a sage, Manu, who focused on this.
Yes, the story goes that Manu received deep insights into how to structure society based on these dharmic principles. He wasn't just making up rules, he was perceiving the natural laws that allow communities and individuals to flourish.
Understanding how individual purpose, our personal dharma, fits into the bigger picture.
Exactly, how it all fits within the universal dharma, the cosmic order.
The rishis also talked about different levels of reality, didn't they? Lokas.
Yes, lokas. They're often translated as worlds or planes of existence, but maybe a better way to think of them is as states of being, levels of consciousness.
Okay.
There's bhuraloka, the physical world we experience with our senses, bhuvaloka, the vital world, energy, emotions, swahaloka, the mental world, thoughts. And then higher lokas, realms of increasingly pure consciousness.
So we exist on multiple levels at once.
That's the idea. And our actions, our karma, ripple through all these dimensions. It's not just about the physical consequences.
That adds another layer entirely. So how do we use this? How do we live this?
Well, the key insight is this. When we consciously align our actions with Dharma, our karma naturally becomes positive, creative, beneficial.
Swim with the current, not against it.
Exactly. A simple practice is just to pause before a significant action or even a reaction and ask yourself, will this create more harmony or more discord? Will this serve life or diminish it? Often, your inner wisdom knows the answer immediately.
That requires mindfulness, doesn't it, to actually pause and ask?
It does. It takes practice. Think about the parable of the two seeds.
Okay.
One seed sprouts quickly, puts all its energy into looking impressive above ground, seeking quick admiration, but it develops shallow roots. And when a storm comes, it topples easily. The other seed grows steadily, patiently sending roots deep into the earth first. It might not look as impressive initially, but it becomes a strong, sturdy tree that provides shelter and fruit for many, weathering all storms.
So the choices, the karma.
Exactly. They either align you with Dharma, building resilience and harmony, or they create resistance, instability, leading to an eventual necessary correction by the law of karma.
So every choice we make, it's like casting a vote.
That's a powerful way to see it. Every choice, every word, every thought is like casting a vote for the kind of world you want to live in, the kind of person you want to be. Choose honesty, you vote for a truthful world. Choose kindness, you vote for a compassionate world. What kind of world are your choices creating today?
That's something to really reflect on.
Definitely.
Now let's shift gears a bit. What if the universe itself, that cosmic intelligence, could actually show up in a form we could relate to? Especially when things get tough.
You're talking about the avatars.
Exactly, the avatar concept.
The word avatar literally means descent. Not like falling down, but a deliberate coming down. Like a loving parent bending down to meet their child's eyes.
So cosmic consciousness expressing itself in relatable form.
Precisely. Forms we can understand, learn from, be inspired by, especially when cosmic balance or dharma is threatened.
And the most famous sequence is the 10 avatars of Vishnu.
Yes, Vishnu being the principle of preservation and harmony. And what's fascinating, as many have pointed out, is how this sequence seems to mirror the story of evolution.
How so?
Well, look at the progression. First, the fish emerging from the waters, saving knowledge from a cosmic flood, purely aquatic.
No.
Then the turtle amphibious, providing a stable base for creation, bridging water and land, material and spiritual.
Right, turtle.
Then Vura, the boar, a land mammal, using strength and determination to lift the earth, representing truth, out of darkness.
War, got it.
Narasimha, the lion man, part animal, part human, representing fierce protective power when innocence or dharma is brutally attacked.
A transitional form.
Exactly. Then the dwarf appearing small and humble, but embodying immense wisdom, transforming things through clever, patient, subtle action, represents the power of the seemingly small.
Interesting.
Parashurama, the warrior sage human now, but representing spiritual wisdom needing to wield force against corruption and oppression.
Okay.
Then Rama, the perfect king, the ideal human embodying dharma, lived perfectly in relationships, duty, society.
Andiel.
Krishna, the divine cowherd, the beloved, revealing the divine not just as majestic, but as playful, intimate, deeply engaged in the complexities and joys of life.
A more personal connection.
Yes. Then Buddha, the enlightened one, going beyond conventional dharma to find the path out of suffering altogether, mastering the mind.
Enlightenment.
And finally, Kalki, the future avatar, prophesied to arrive on a white horse when the world cycle reaches its darkest point to usher in a new age of truth and renewal.
Wow. That sequence.
Yeah.
Aquatic, amphibious, mammal, half human, small human, warrior human, ideal human, divine human, enlightened human, future human. It really does track, doesn't it?
It's quite remarkable. It feels like an intuitive map, not just of biological evolution, but maybe also the evolution of consciousness itself.
From instinct to societal roles to moral complexity to enlightenment and beyond.
Exactly. It suggests consciousness itself is on this grand journey of unfolding.
But here's a thought. Is the avatar principle just about these big cosmic figures?
That's a crucial point. The deeper teaching is that the avatar principle isn't limited to them.
How do you mean?
Every time you act from your highest wisdom, every time you choose compassion when anger is easier, or find courage when you feel fear, you are actually channeling that same avatar principle.
So divinity descending through us.
In a way, yes. When you show up as the best version of yourself in a tough situation, think about parents finding strength they never knew they had to protect their child.
Right. Or a teacher suddenly finding the perfect words to inspire a student.
Exactly. Anyone can become an avatar of compassion or courage or wisdom when the moment truly calls for it. We tap into something deeper.
That makes it much more personal and accessible.
And remember Krishna's words in the Bhagavad Gita, whenever dharma declines, I manifest myself, age after age.
Yeah.
That's not just about him reappearing, it's also about that divine principle within each of us awakening when it's needed, our own higher self stepping forward to restore balance and light.
It's also striking how many avatars are animals or connected to nature. The fish, turtle, boar,
Yeah.
lion.
Krishna as a cowherd.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's a vital teaching. Divinity expresses itself through all of nature, not just humans. It reminds us we're part of this vast, interconnected web of life, where every creature has a sacred role. It's deeply ecological wisdom.
There's that lovely story about recognizing an avatar.
Ah, the grandmother story, yeah. The girl asks how she'll know one.
And the grandmother says,
She says they aren't always big cosmic figures. Sometimes it's the friend who shows up when you're alone, the teacher who believes in you, the stranger who shows kindness when you're hurting.
and the key is how they make you feel, right?
Exactly. True avatars don't make you feel small. They remind you of your own divine nature. They help you remember who you really are. So the underlying message is that the universe provides what's needed to restore balance on every level.
That's the principle. It happens in our lives, our communities, the world.
So maybe you think about this. Who in your life has been an avatar for you? Someone who showed up right when needed. And how might you be an avatar for others in your own way?
Powerful questions.
Let's talk about the wisdom keepers themselves. One thing that really stands out in this is this integration of knowledge, isn't it?
Absolutely. There wasn't this modern split we often see between, say, spirituality and science.
Right. They weren't in separate boxes.
No, the sages,
Yeah.
they were often mystics and mathematicians, seers and surgeons, philosophers and physicists all at once. They saw the same cosmic intelligence at work everywhere.
Let's look at some examples. Sushruta, for instance.
Incredible figure. We're talking over 2,500 years ago. While many parts of the world were still thinking illness was caused by, angry spirits.
He's doing surgery.
Complex surgery. With instruments he designed himself. His work, the Samhita, is a foundational text of Ayurveda Indian medicine. He understood the body wasn't separate from mind and spirit.
And he did things like cataract surgery, plastic surgery.
Yes, cataracts, kidney stones, reconstructing noses, techniques that weren't really rediscovered in the West for centuries. But maybe his most profound insight was holistic healing, treating the whole person, body, mind, spirit, emphasizing prevention through diet, exercise, meditation, ethical living.
Way ahead of his time.
Definitely. Then you have someone like,
The mathematician and astronomer.
right, around 500 CE. While many still thought the Earth was flat, he was calculating its circumference with amazing accuracy.
Didn't he also figure out the Earth rotates?
He did. He proposed the Earth spins on its axis, causing day and night, and he calculated the length of the year as 365.25 days. Phenomenally close.
And for him, math wasn't just numbers.
No, it was sacred. Numbers were principles revealing the hidden order of creation. And famously, he introduced the concept of zero.
Zero, which is huge mathematically.
Huge. But for him, it wasn't just emptiness. It was the pregnant void, the potential from which everything arises. A deep philosophical concept embedded in mathematics.
Wow. Okay, so body was cosmos with Aryabhata. What about the mind?
That brings us to Patanjali, the master scientist of consciousness.
The Yoga Sutras.
Exactly. His Yoga Sutras aren't religious dogma. They're a systematic scientific manual for understanding and training the mind.
He wasn't asking for belief, but for practice.
Precisely. He offered precise, testable techniques. Observe your mind, try this practice, see the effects. The 8 limbs of yoga ethics, personal observances, postures, breathwork, concentration, meditation. It's a step-by-step path to realizing your true nature.
And modern neuroscience is actually backing up a lot of this now, isn't it?
It's truly compelling. Studies on meditation's effects on brain structure and function, the impact of breath on the nervous system, how ethical living affects psychological well-being. So many of Patanjali's insights from millennia ago are being validated now. He mapped the inner universe with incredible precision.
Amazing. Who else should we mention? Charaka.
Charaka, another giant of Ayurvedic medicine, his Samhita. Like, he saw medicine as a sacred science.
Health as balance.
Dynamic balance.
Well, go on.
Between body, mind, environment, spirit. He stressed that everyone is unique. Treatment needs to be personalized, considering constitution, lifestyle, circumstances, fundamentally preventive and holistic. Diet, exercise, sleep, stress management, spiritual practices, and the cornerstones of health.
It sounds incredibly modern, actually. Personalized, preventive, holistic medicine.
It does, doesn't it? And wisdom didn't only come through science or medicine. Think of
The great poet and playwright, often called the Shakespeare of Sanskrit.
Right. He understood that beauty, poetry, story, these are powerful ways of knowing, too. His works, like Shakuntala, offer such deep insights into human nature, love, our connection to the natural world.
So, truth through beauty and metaphor.
Yes. Sometimes truth touches the heart more directly through a story than through a formula. Dasa knew that.
So, what ties all these figures together? This integration.
Exactly. That's the core principle. They didn't compartmentalize spirituality, science, art, ethics. They were all seen as different facets of one unified understanding, one reality. All genuine knowledge flows from that same ultimate source, that cosmic intelligence.
Whether looking at planets or the human heart.
They were exploring different expressions of the same divine creativity, and this spirit of integrated wisdom, it's still alive. You see it in scientists who approach work with reverence, doctors who treat the whole person, artists whose work heals, teachers who awaken wisdom, not just cram facts.
I love that story about the sage in the windows.
Yes. The student asks how the master keeps all the subjects separate.
Medicine, astronomy, poetry.
And the sage replies, I don't keep them separate because they aren't separate. Each one is like a different window in the same house.
Looking out at the same landscape.
Exactly. The wise person opens as many windows as possible.
That's beautiful.
So these wisdom keepers, they essentially invite us to see our own curiosity, our sense of wonder, our desire to understand as spiritual practices in themselves.
Learning as a spiritual act.
Absolutely. Every time you learn something new, how a plant grows, how your body works, how kindness changes things, you're participating in that cosmic process of self-discovery. So what are you curious about right now? How might your own learning be a form of spiritual practice?
Food for thought.
Definitely.
So as we kind of wrap up this exploration, it really feels like, well, not an ending.
No, not at all. More like a beginning or maybe stepping onto a path that continues.
Because they are just history books. They feel like a living library.
That's a wonderful way to put it. A living library that keeps expanding. Every time science rediscovers a principle hinted at ages ago, every time someone finds peace through these ancient meditation techniques, every time someone lives more harmoniously by understanding Dharma and karma,
The library comes alive again.
it awakens anew. And you, by engaging with this, by asking questions, by trying to live with more awareness, you become part of its continuation. You're adding your own experience to this vast living wisdom.
And the beauty is it feels universal, doesn't it? You don't need a specific background or belief system.
Not at all. These core teachings, understanding cosmic laws, practicing mindfulness, living ethically, recognizing our interconnectedness, they speak to fundamental human questions.
Who am I? Why am I here? How should I live? What's real?
Exactly. And the Samhitas don't really offer rigid, dogmatic answers. They offer methods, practical, experiential ways to find out for yourself.
Which is the invitation from the rishis, right?
It's the core invitation, echoing through millennia. Hey, Pasiko, come and see for yourself. Don't just believe it because it's written down or someone told you. Test it.
Try it in the laboratory of your own life.
Yes. Practice the techniques, observe the effects, walk the path, see where it leads. That's the true scientific spirit of the not blind faith, but courageous personal exploration of our deepest potential.
That's really empowering.
It is. And there's a kind of sacred promise embedded in all of this, I feel.
This is.
That no matter how lost you might feel sometimes, how confused or overwhelmed life gets, there's always an inner path back to clarity, back to peace, back to purpose.
Because that same intelligence?
The same cosmic intelligence that organizes galaxies and atoms is right there within you as your deepest self. The same laws of harmony, Dharma, can guide your choices. The same love that moves the stars beats in your own heart. You just need to reconnect.
That's a profoundly hopeful message.
It is. And perhaps we can close with one of the most beautiful expressions of that interconnectedness, the Shanti mantra. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina.
Sarve Santi Nirmaya.
Sarve Patrani Pashyantu.
Ma Kashchi Dukhabag Bhavet.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
And the meaning?
It translates roughly as, may all beings be happy and free from suffering. May all beings be healthy and whole. May all beings see beauty and goodness everywhere. May no being experience unnecessary pain or sorrow. Peace, peace, peace.
Wow. That's all-encompassing.
It is. It's not just a wish. It's a recognition of our deep interconnectedness. My well-being is tied to yours, and ours is tied to all beings. When we truly grasp the wisdom of the Samhitas, we see that working for our own highest good is working for the good of all. They're the same thing.
So the journey continues.
Yeah.
This deep dive is really just opening a door.
Exactly.
Maybe tonight you could just look up at the stars. Really look. Imagine that light traveled for ages to reach you. And remember, you're made of that same stardust. Feel that connection.
Or maybe consider starting a really simple meditation practice. 5 minutes a day, just watching your breath. Notice how this ancient technique affects your very modern life. No big deal. Just notice or
Even just try practicing that Shanti mantra silently. As you go about your day, wish happiness and peace for the people you see, family, friends, strangers, even people you find difficult. Just see how that quiet practice shifts your own state of mind.
Because remember, you're not separate from this cosmic story. You are the universe becoming conscious of itself, asking these questions, seeking understanding that is the cosmos awakening to its own nature through you.
The journey doesn't really end. Consciousness has no limits.
But every step reveals new wonders, new possibilities, new depths of peace, wisdom, and love.